today. From Lumen Field in Seattle, it's Week 9 of the NFL on EA Sports.
With the beautiful Puget Sound just to our west, you get a look inside Lumen Field here in Seattle, Washington. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Dolphins take the field with Tua Tagovailoa, their quarterback from Alabama, at the helm.
And he's certainly putting together an MVP-type season, leading the league in both passing yards and touchdown passes. There have not been too many defenses that have been able to stop him or even slow him down. So he's got his sights set on another big game right here.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. A leap, and he's got it. He got it. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. A huge play there right off the bat. Defense blitz, but they picked it up pretty well.
Allowed their man to stand firm in the pocket and not be hurried, didn't it? That allowed him to make the nice throw downfield to help complete that play.
Opening minute, and already a trip to the red zone. They've got a 1st and 10 from the 10. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself the best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
The give to the fullback on the dive. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there. Touchdown number 18 on the year. And the Dolphins are going to take a 1st quarter lead. Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And that makes it 7-0 Dolphins. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Here come the Seahawks. Time for that offense and quarterback Russell Wilson to go to work.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Wilson. That's into the hands of his tight end, Will Dissly. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on third down. Throwing is Wilson. Dumps it off to Fournette. So nothing doing there, and that's going to bring up a fourth down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
So they're forced to punt on fourth as this one's away. Pulled in at the 24. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return, and it'll be Dolphin football. So Miami coming out for their second drive. They're at the halfway point of the season, Charles. Bills 8-0. What a great start. Clearly a Super Bowl contender, if not the outright favorite, through 2 months to win the whole thing.
Well, there aren't too many bad things you can say right now because this team is playing pretty well. They've had a couple of injuries. That could plague them down the stretch. But their intensity doesn't waver. I think the road to the Super Bowl is going to go through them in the playoffs.
Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Dolphins. Henry Ruggs with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Dolphins strike quickly here for 6 points.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now, he can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll make the score 14-0. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just one play resulting in the touchdown. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. 3-5 is where they sit on the year. A very uneven start is certainly not an ideal position to be in at the halfway point of the season. CD, do you see an avenue where they can still be a playoff team, or is that ship sailed?
Well, since you took me to the nautical side, I'm going to try and keep up here because to me, this ship is about ready to pull out of port. These next couple of games are absolute must-wins for them. Now, if they can win a couple, get to 5-5, maybe they start believing in themselves. But a loss here, that would move them to 3-6. And if that's the case, well, that boat is going to head out to the harbor with them still on the dock.
Now Wilson on first down. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. He's picked off near his own 48. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
So now the Dolphins set to take over on offense. They've gone 2 months without a loss, 8 straight wins for them. And they've got the lead here in this one as well, trying to make it 9 in a row. On the handoff, it's Gaskin. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. The rushing numbers for Gaskin last week, 7 carries, 58 yards.
And only 7 carries in last week's game, and I just don't know how any runner can really get loose and feel like they're into the game with that few carries. You've got to get that number up to around 15.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. They stay on the ground this time. It's Williams. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. This is Gaskin on the carry. And bulldozing his way through. And the Dolphins are going to be set up with a 1st and goal. He couldn't quite reach the chalk, but they'll have it at the 1-yard line.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Shewo Lanalua hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. So they brought the extra bulk in down on the 1-yard line, and they're able to push this one across.
Yeah, I can just see your face right now because I know we're mind melding on this one. Coach Madden would love this. Power football, hat on a hat, chest to chest, driving forward, touchdown.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and it's now 21-0. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. Now we will get another look at Seattle's offense. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down. They said there was a lot of discussion in their defensive team meeting room after last week's performance. They had 7 sacks. Something in the water. There's one in the first quarter.
A lot of discussion, a lot of excitement because now everyone wants to get involved with this. Who's going to continue that process? Who's going to get to the quarterback this week? But they have to be careful. When you have that much pressure, they want to use it against you. Draws, screens, those types of plays.
We'll see if they do that. On 3rd down, Wilson. He'll set up the screen to Fournette. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll be a loss of 6 yards on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Partner, when you see a screen pass and the defensive tackle ends up making the play, you know that one wasn't sold well at all because he should be upfield by the time you throw the pass. If not, you end up with big trouble, as we just saw right there.
This will be a 41-yard punt, 3 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Time for our first check of the NFL scoreboard. The Jets out to the early lead. Saquon Barkley, a first-quarter touchdown there. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's going to let this one go deep. And this is caught inside the 5. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Waddle with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it's stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the rout is on here in this first half. So this not what we expected. 28-0 here in the first as another kickoff is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. Play action. Now Wilson. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down. And, Charles, this defense, I have to imagine, kind of licking its chops when you get a chance to face a team that's lost 3 straight.
And my surprise was listening to their head coach in his weekly presser, because normally you and I see guys that get up there and say, everybody's a threat any given Sunday, that sort of thing. But he was asked if this might be a trap game, and he essentially said he didn't see anything to worry about. Now, normally you say that to your team, but you don't tell us. You definitely don't say it to the media. It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now it's Wilson. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. This is brought in at the 21. Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Miami set to take over. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. I mean, that's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did.
A fight for it, and this is caught. It's caught indeed. It's a big play there for Miami. Typically with catches like that, we talk about the height of the wide receiver, but he's one of the shorter receivers in the NFL.
And it doesn't seem to matter, does it? Put the tape measure away. How about some of these guys under 6 feet tall? Antonio Brown, T.Y. Hilton, and Super Bowl 53 MVP, Julian Edelman.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. They'll run now with Gaskin. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
3 yards remain for 2nd down. They'll hand it off now, Williams. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line.
Well, think of it like you would a typical boxing match. The person that's on his heels and absorbing blows is having a tough time. And that's what's happening to the defense right now because the offense is on his toes and punching. And there was another first down run right there.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
That's a nice example of good team defense right there. Ball was snapped at the 1-yard line. They knocked him back and caused a loss. But you notice they were trying to find any type of...
And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Dolphins open the lead up to 34-0.
Okay, we need to double check here with Marvin because he keeps all of our good stats. But what I've got is 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, and they've got a nice, healthy lead.
Well, after the first drive, we thought things might be clicking. They're really clicking at this point. They're clicking about as much as they can click.
And right
I just said click a lot.
Yes, you did, but that's okay because the guy who's coordinating the defense, trying to slow them down.
Good luck.
He's going to have hair that looks like mine very soon. Not much of it.
So plenty of fireworks here early. 35-0 now as the kick is away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Now the ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense. They've got to be absolutely reeling right now. Couldn't have expected to be down this big this early. But that's the spot they're in as they come up to try again here. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't. Hand it off.
Now it's 2nd and 9.
Let's get this ball back for the offense. Let's go. 29 is Mike 29.
They'll try the right side here with Fournette. Dancing away at the 35. And this will be a Seahawks 1st down as he's got this past the 35 to about the 37. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. Now Leonard Fournette. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. On second down, here's Fournette. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first. Now Wilson. Out to the right, he gets it to Lockett. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down, although it doesn't appear to be by much. He needed 4, and he got 4 on third down.
I know I'm an old defender, but I've got to give credit where credit's due. That was smart play calling right there on 3rd and 4. They didn't need to do too much. Just let their guy get out there and sit down in the zone, and they hit him for the completion for the first down.
Fournette, a first down carry, and he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is just going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8. Now it's Wilson. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. It'll be a sack and a loss of 3, but more importantly, it brings up 4th down. He's certainly one of those quarterbacks that can burn you with his mobility, but that time able to hem him in and get him to the ground.
Perfect descriptor right there about how they kept him in the pocket. Excellent job of containment, but they were still able to continue to bring such strong pressure without letting him escape. But how about those guys in the secondary as well? Kept the coverage tight, plastered to the receivers, and left no real options for him to throw it downfield.
This one will sail out of bounds. It'll depend on the spot here. And the side judge says that went out at the 7-yard line. Tua and the rest of the Dolphin offense back out on the field. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance, if they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. A handoff as they run the counter play. And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2.
Football's such a game of tendencies, down and distance, and on 3rd and inches, 3rd and 1, you think, man, the fullback's probably going to get the ball, but when you get to 3rd and 2, most of the time that's either the running back or a pass play. So that's a nice tendency breaker by the offensive team there. Hand it to their big guy to pick up a first down.
That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 81 yards. And the Dolphins continue to pull away here in this first half. He's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. So that drive, 4 plays. And it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Leonard Fournette making his way back out there. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while. And then you get a chance to come back to him when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
Still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They go play action with Wilson. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
So much about defending the pass is being able to be right there at the moment the ball gets to the receiver. And he was right in his hip pocket, helping force that incompletion.
Here's Wilson to throw. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Brandon Jones picking it off. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
Well, this had trouble written all over it from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
Here's Gaskin. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 43 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. Sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. 2 of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Following the penalty, it's Williams. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. It's a gain of 7 on the ground. 2nd down coming up. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Well, they've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
And that was a good collision right there. And I know this as a former defender. If you're playing linebacker, you're going through a checklist on every play on who you think's going to get the ball and where you think the ball's going to go. Rarely did you...
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. It's the fullback with touchdown number 20 on the year, and the Dolphins just continue to pour it on. This is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it? Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fantastic start. They hope it continues.
3 already for him. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the route is on here in this first half. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. This taken in at the goal line. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other.
And Wilson's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off at the 28. And this one will be brought back to the 22. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily. But I also wonder if it's going to unnerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one? Or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's second and 2. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Myles Gaskin, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins have got it on cruise control. Well, I'll say one thing, Charles. You're getting really good practice here in breaking down touchdowns. What did you see there?
Well, the same thing I've seen over and over and over in this first half. My scintillating analysis, Brandon, this offense is absolutely taking no prisoners.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. He's struggled. His team has struggled. You talked to me a lot about looking to your leaders. Maybe it's time for him to put his mark on this game.
Agreed. And how that has to happen is somehow he's got to flush out everything that's happened so far and almost start over and get back to that confident level and know that he can play the game, because so far this has been a real struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the interceptions, trying to turn it around. So after the run for no gain, here's second and 10. Now Wilson. They'll swing this out to Fournette. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down, and comfortably so, as he gets 5 there on 3rd and a yard.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
A gain of 6 there on first. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Fournette running right. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both large. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down. And the pressure gets to him again. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
Now, if you're a fan of punting, this game's for you. He's been out there quite a bit. That one maybe his best yet.
Yeah, he certainly got his leg loose by now. It kind of reminds me of my college football coach, John Majors. He loved the punting game because he liked the positioning, the field position, and he loved to play defense.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Back near his goal line, here's Tua. He's going to rifle one deep left side. A fight for it, and this is caught. What a catch. A big play there just before halftime. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. So that changes things. Here's 1st and 10 all the way up at the 45.
We got to step it up. 56, the mark, boys. 56. Check 56.
Tagovailoa working out of the gun. He's going to go up top again. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Waddle on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead will swell by 1 more. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. This fielded right at the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. I think this crowd not really sure what to make of things. Their guys have not looked very good. Their leader here at the top, he hasn't looked that great either.
And most of the time you hear guys talk about how they don't let the crowd affect them or they block it off. Well, that's not really fully true because a lot of the times you ride the wave of emotion with the crowd when it's positive for you. In this case, they've got to find a way to shake it off and at least get something done to maybe put the crowd back on their side.
Absolutely, give these guys something to cheer about. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10 from the shotgun. Wilson. And this is incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Wilson will throw again. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Derek Brown, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Nifty running there, but it'll come on what should be the final play of half number 1. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, all right, Brandon. Thank you very much. Hi again, everyone. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the NFL as we are officially into the second half of the season. We'll begin out in Houston, and it's the Jets who are out in front in that one. Elijah Moore, a touchdown reception. From there, we make the trip east as we head all the way to Jacksonville to check on the Jags. And they were losers in that one as they fall to the visiting Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry, a dynamite performance. Over 200 yards on the ground with 3 touchdown runs. Lastly, let's get up to Buffalo to check on the Bills. And they were winners as they defeat the visiting New England Patriots. Devin Singletary, a touchdown run in the victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half?
The Seahawks trailing, but they will have possession first here as we resume action in the third quarter. Taken at the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. And that first half was nothing short of a disaster. 0 points on the scoreboard and a big 3 in the INT column.
So they've got to get him going, obviously, right? So you've got to get him in rhythm. And we always think of short passes. I think of jet sweeps where they just kind of toss the ball forward. You know, that counts as a forward pass. And then you can say to him, look at that. You completed 3, 4, 5 in a row. Now you've got to get your confidence going.
And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big connection on that one. 38 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. A handoff to Fournette. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Fournette once more on 2nd down, and he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down, keep the sticks moving.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. To throw is Wilson. Short throw to Disley. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
A shotgun give to Fournette. They'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
3rd and 2, now Wilson. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
And a good job of just fighting through one tackle there to pick up about 3. 2nd down coming up. 7 yards left for 2nd down. Ball at the 10. Here's Wilson. And he's got his big tight end here. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
I like the thought process. I like the design, but I think he may have waited a little too long to spot his man, because if you're going to run that drag route, you've got to put it on him and let him turn upfield. Instead, he waits until his receiver's too close to the sideline, and they don't get the yards after the catch.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the 3rd quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in, coming out to start this 3rd quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They had the big halftime lead. Their defense just helped them out further by forcing the turnover, so things are starting to look pretty rosy.
They certainly are, but they've got to be careful about getting complacent, though. They still need to go out and run their offense efficiently.
63 yards rushing for them now to this point. So, CD, you look at this offense and what they've been able to do. 8-0, perfect through the first 2 months of the year. 2nd half of the season still to come. We get that. But what kind of a percentage chance do you think that they have of running the table?
Partner, I think it's hard to say, because history would tell us that the chances aren't good at all. We've seen a lot of good teams get to this point, and then they have that one bad week and takes them out of the running. I'm going to say 25%, and I feel like I'm being generous with that number.
On 2nd down, it's Williams. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
On the give, this is their fullback. And he's got the 1st down before being taken down at the 46.
And while it didn't work very well on that play, defenders on 3rd and short know it's going to be a quick read. And really, the quarterback's just going to turn around and hand it off. So that way, you're able to diagnose the play and try and get to the point of attack. But when you're dealing with a fullback, it's hard to knock him backwards.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging into our 2nd half blowout material. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Mike 36. Mike 36. You ain't going nowhere.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. 2 yards to gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a 1st.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big people, because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers, because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
On 3rd down, here's Williams. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
Mike 36. Mike 36.
And to give this time to the tailback. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Second down and 3. They'll run it with Williams. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. The give to the fullback on the dive. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23.
And how about that on 3rd down? So many different directions an offense can go. Throw it out wide to the receivers, get it to their speedy running back. They changed up everything and handed it to the fullback, and he surprised them all and picked up a first down.
They run the counter now on 1st down. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the 3rd quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
As they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone, not used to seeing a lopsided score like this. And he'll take this one inside the 10 down to the 8. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The ball on the 8. Still could get a first down technically. 2nd and 7. On the handoff, it's Gaskin. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They haven't been stopped yet. A perfect 7 for 7. Here it's 3rd and 3. They'll try and run with their fullback. And boy, he is was very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave them with some options here on 4th and inches. And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. A great play there. His 21st touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. So definitely a good day's work throwing the football. Very good day's work. A 4 touchdown passes. They're really pouring it on.
Yeah, and so much for going into clock mode after getting that touchdown, right? Because you would think with the lead, 4th quarter, they might actually do that. No chance. They've kept attacking and got another touchdown pass as a result.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that will extend this big lead. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Coming this way, coming this way. Here we go. 57's Mike 57. Defense wins championships, baby.
From the gun, it's Wilson. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. And he's going to be down at the 35. Gain of 7.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. And now here is another interception. Brandon Jones picking it off. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. Working his way for a gain of 7 to the 26. Working with a 2nd and 3.
Check. Fresno.
This is Gaskin on the carry. And down inside the 15 he goes. 88 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep
keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Let's go. Watch
Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short. Steady bursts.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Again, it's Williams. And this carry brought to an end at the 8. Good stick skills, just not much room there to operate. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
Watch 36 to Mike. Hey, let's get some
And now a carry here for their fullback. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Dolphins are on their way to a 9-0 start as they build on to their lead. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. So let's glance at a player spotlight now with Russell Wilson. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Second and 15.
Come to my work. We want it. Come to my work. Check, 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 check.
Another try after the 1st down sack. Wilson, it's caught, block it. And a good stiff arm there before he's brought down on a nice little gain. They'll wind up getting 10 back there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and 5.
Check 4, check 4.
Here's Wilson. Under pressure, and down he goes. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Now here's Michael Dixon as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Dolphins ready to take over on offense. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4. They'll try and run down some clock with Williams. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll have a Dolphins first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. An even 100 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
On first down, Williams. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead, first down, fourth quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back. But 8 yards on first down puts them back on their heels.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get it down this time to the 17.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. They'll hand it off now. Williams. Down he goes at the 10 with a solid pickup of 8. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more, little insult to injury here late in the game. And his kick is indeed good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
It's a squibber picked up around the 27. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Miami, the train just keeps rolling 9-0 now to start this campaign. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Meanwhile, for Seattle, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at Soldier Field with the Chicago Bears. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.